your tickets ahead of time at sideshowbeers.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Look at your car. It's filthy, probably has dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a Marita Club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over. Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Working at Continental Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no minimum cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Check their lot just north of 4th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
It is beautiful. Love my ring. I compliment Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
Keisei Tamanaga is returning to Nebraska. Just elevates the ceiling of what Nebraska basketball can be this upcoming year. This feels good. Nebraska basketball feels good going in.
When you think of Keisei Tominagi, you think of three, right? And obviously he shot 40% from three-point range this last season. Just a highlight waiting to happen with him. And I believe that his cuts off the ball on the offensive end and his ability to finish quickly, he just catches it and finishes it all in one motion. I think that's going to be extremely important for him.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez-Clary, better known to you folks as Rico, is here as well. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am here.
You're here.
I am here. That is all.
That's all. Any plans this weekend? You're going up north, right?
Maybe. Question mark.
Okay.
I'm not sure what our plans are
It's
this
like you're
weekend.
a bird migrating back. You going up north this weekend? You're going back north this weekend?
Yeah, it's warming up there, so I just headed up. It's about that time. Done down here in Mexico, going back up to Canada.
Anyway.
Just skip over that whole United States thing.
Yep, exactly. As always,
It's a
you
weird
guys
place.
can interact with the show, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire way here, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as Allo Channel 951 is the place to be. Rico, before we go into some of the SEC stuff that's going on with SEC football, I want to make sure we mention that we're going to be at the College World Series this season.
Yes.
And it's the first day of the regionals in the NCAA college baseball tournament going on today. And we're going to be, once they get to Omaha, the final 8 teams, we're going to be hanging out at the Hilton Hotel. Shout out to Blur Parties for having us out there. We will be out there June 16th, 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Yes.
Those are the 4 dates that we'll be out there in June talking about the College World Series. I believe we're going to have tickets to give away for contests. So you guys make sure you're hanging out here and come on down to Omaha because the whole Blur Parties, and we're going to be at the Hilton once again downtown in Omaha, in O-Town.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a blast. Looking forward to it. Obviously, as we are a pro baseball show, I would imagine.
Yeah,
we are a heavily pro baseball and softball show, and so the Women's College World Series is going on right now down at USA Stadium in OKC. But when the Men's College World Series comes to town in Omaha, that's going to be right up our alley.
A lot of weather affecting the Women's College World Series. They had to
That's what I saw.
Postpone some games. A game had to be postponed. Did start to like 9:45 at night. So
Yeah.
Nebraska knows all about that when they were down at Oklahoma State. Speaking of Oklahoma State, they got shut out. Lost 8-0 to
That's
Florida
fine.
State.
That's fine. Maybe Oklahoma State can just stop being so good at softball, and then Nebraska,
When they
instead
go
of
down-
going down to Stillwater, Oklahoma State can come up to Lincoln, and Nebraska can knock them out.
2 years in a row down to Stillwater.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Are we gonna make it 3?
The garbologist says that we should call out texter Gorilla Bear and tell him that if he doesn't text in by the end of your show, you're changing his name. And so we happily call folks out.
I'm good at calling folks out.
And so Gorilla Bear, this is officially you being called out.
This is your official notice.
Yes.
Your eviction notice.
Yeah.
If you do not text into the show today,
We're not going to block you. You just lose the rights
you
to
lose your
Gorilla
name.
Bear.
I don't know what we'll change your name to, but we'll change it.
Yeah. All right. 402-464-5685. Before we get into the SEC conversation, we have a phone call on this Friday. Let's bring in T-Bone. T-Bone, what's up?
What up?
Hey, boys. Good to hear from you. I am going to ask you some questions about Major League Baseball. Before that, I got to tell you, one of my funniest openings that you have is when the guy says, "Are you going to happy hour?" You have a couple. Nobody ever has done that ever in the history of life.
Yeah, I'll have a couple.
That's why you go to happy hour.
Yeah, I'll have a couple, a couple thousand. The other thing I was going to mention before I get to Major League Baseball, the Softball World Series, that was pretty interesting. I'm waiting to see if Oklahoma will ever get beat again. I think, what do they have, like a 43 winning streak, something like that?
I think it's more than that because earlier in the season I saw that it was like 48 games. So I'm pretty sure I'm sure it eclipsed 50 at this point.
It was 43 before Supers.
Okay, so I would assume.
And I think they got through that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they got through all of them unscathed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're pretty incredible. So, yeah, I'll be watching that. So I wanted to get you guys' opinions about all the changes this year in Major League Baseball. I'm finding myself, and like you guys, I'm a big MLB fan.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the changes this year, I find myself watching more and more games. And I see the viewership is up thanks to the number of steals. And if you guys want to go through some of the changes, that's fine because I'll just listen to you guys. But I love all the changes that they made. I think it's made the game better. And last I heard, it is reduced the amount of time to about 2.5 hours now instead of 3, so almost 30 minutes. And it's just so quick pace. So anyway, I'll hang up and listen to you guys' responses.
I appreciate that, T-Bone. Good to hear from you as well on a Friday. And so to answer
Also
T-Bone's
elite name.
Yes, great name. Shout out to us having a great intro as well. So in regards to Major League Baseball and the pace of the game, I believe I read back in an article in early May that the average Major League Baseball game right now is taking 2 hours and 36 minutes. And so obviously once they play more games, that's going to fluctuate. But you're right around, as T-Bone said, around 2.5 hours. And part of that's pitch clock. Part of that is just even something as small as shifts in defense, right? Not allowing in between each pitch infields to wholesale go to the left side of second base bag or whatever it may be. But this is back from April that Major League Baseball game times are down 31 minutes on average after rule changes, and that batting average is up 16 points. In addition, stolen bases have spiked up 30%. And the pace of play is on track to be the sport's lowest since 1984. So when you talk about, we've talked about it ad nauseum of what sells in this day and age of baseball, right? And if Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, you may have your opinions of him, and that's fine. However, when you look at some of the changes that they've made, it's improved the viewing, or the viewership, I suppose, for the sport. And what I mean by that is you have players like Jazz Chisholm who
love that guy.
who has a celebration for every home run. I'm missing on the name. Eurostep.
Eurostep's the home plate every time.
Yes, Eurostep's home plate every single time after a home run. You have guys doing bat flips. You have all these celebrations, and unfortunately, if I understand if you're a traditionalist, you might not like that. But that's what sells, and that's what people watch on ESPN on the highlights, and that's what people are going to kind of gravitate towards. Of okay, this might not be that boring 2-1 ball game, and you still have that sprinkled in there every now and then. But
now it's more a 2-1 ball game is exciting still now because of how quickly it's going, how little time you have between the pitches because of the pitch clock, because the pitchers don't want to give up ball, the batters don't want to give up a strike, they're not stepping out of the box, readjusting their gloves 7 times, wiping their hands down, hitting the bat on both sides of the plate 5 times, and then swinging it around their head for about 20 minutes. Like I really think the pitch clock and the pickoff moves, cutting it down to 2, I believe, has really improved baseball, because even if you are a traditionalist, even if you are, one of the older baseball fans, I don't think that really messes with the sanctity of the game. And I really think that it helps add to what baseball already was as America's pastime, is such a great game to watch. And if you truly love baseball, then you should be you should be extremely happy that the viewership is up, because that means the younger generations are getting into it. If the younger generations get into it, you'll have, more players, more eyes. Baseball can keep going, keep growing, because at the pace that it was going at, it was the older fans and not much else. And if that happens, once the older fans go away, I don't know what else you were going to do if you were baseball. So what they're doing, and the fact that they're, I don't know if allowing or if just the players have realized that they can show more emotion and not be vilified for it, has really helped increase the eyes on the game, the viewership, and some people's love for the game.
We've also seen, Major League Baseball has a pretty good, I should say, process to testing out new rules and regulations and how they want to do this. They usually introduce them in the minors, right? And then they'll transition if they feel like they'll be helpful to the professional or, the top level, Major League Baseball level. And with that, we saw it last year, all the reports coming out of minor league games on how minor league baseball games were down a half hour as well on average per 9 innings, right? And so, I just looked up an article back from from June 16th, 2022. And the resemblance and the correlation is really similar, right? Minor league game time cut 29 minutes with pitch clocks. Minor league games with a pitch clock have averaged 2 hours and 37 minutes this season. And that was down in 2022. And what did we just say? That average game times right now are 2 hours and 39 minutes. So, I mean, that's the correlation between whether or not something's going to, benefit teams and fans in the minors. It also can be translated and correlated to the major league level as well. So I think it's a good thing. I also probably playing a factor in getting people to watch, right? Because home runs sell. The universal DH. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of the universal DH rule because I would like to consider myself as more of a traditionalist, as more of somebody that really enjoys watching the evolution of a baseball game, right? The first time through the order, the pitcher kind of has the upper hand. Then the second time through the order, the hitters kind of make adjustments on the fly, right? And it's that chess match. I really enjoy watching that, but I understand that just a casual, common baseball fan might not enjoy that, and they want to see the towering home runs and the stolen bases and the celebrations, and that's fine. And so I think Major League Baseball this season has done a better job of finding that avenue to where it incorporates both of those fan bases, and that would result in increased viewership. And the universal DH, I think, is one of those, because it gives you another hitter on your roster or in your lineup more specifically that can hit those towering home runs. And in a way, you don't have to worry about, pitchers in the box getting plunked with a ball or anything like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, your pitcher, if you want your pitcher to hit, then you should have your pitcher
be Shohei Ohtani.
You should, your pitcher should be Shohei Ohtani and work on that more. I didn't mind it. I was actually a really fan of the universal DH, but I wasn't mad when pitchers were getting up, because to me it was always just a fun game of like, can they at least put it in play? Can they, even if they don't get a hit, can they at least, put the bat on the ball? Because you forget to remember that at some point during this person's baseball career, whether that be, little league, high school, college, they were probably swinging the bat. They weren't always just a pitcher.
Yeah. Well, we see it in not to change sports, but you see it in softball, right? I mean, obviously the pitchers for Nebraska, Courtney Wallace was one of Nebraska's most reliable hitters and clutch hitters for multiple seasons. And she did her job in the circle as well. So I don't know. I think, once again, you're never going to make the entire watch party happy, I think.
Yeah,
but
not everybody's
Major League Baseball has done a pretty good job, and I would expect more changes to come down the road, whether that's changing the baseball as they do every year, changing maybe the bats and how they're constructed as well. The one rule that I think will really turn me away or disappoint me from Major League Baseball is if they end up going to electronic umpires. I think
robot umps.
There is some sort of human element that you still, if you're a baseball fan and watching it, that you not only expect to have the human element, but also, I don't know if crave is the right word, but I want those bang bang plays that it's questionable what the result's going to be, right? I want those split second decisions, because also it speaks to how talented the umpires are. I mean, we always talk about how bad they are and how poor of a call or poor of a game that they had. But on the flip side,
when they have a good game,
when 99% of the time, 99 out of 100 games, they're really, really good. And it's remarkable how well they can call and handle a game when you're throwing 101 consistently, right? Because that's the normal. I mean, that's average velocity is upper 90s and low triple digits. And so
when you're getting those pitches that break however many inches, just crazy break on the ball and all of that. Umpires are crazy, and if you can get upset at the umpires and all that, but my thing is, when they do the ump cam and you're watching that ball come in, and it's just like, okay, was that a ball or a strike? I don't know.
And that's one of the more exciting views to watch, like at the College World Series, for example. If you're watching on TV, you can have it where it's like you have the normal TV crew, right? But then you have the home plate umpire who's mic'd up, and you have the natural sounds of the ball hitting the glove, right? If you are a traditionalist, and it's more of that, holy cow, that guy is able to call one that's in the strike zone, catches the paint, right, and call that a strike. And then there will be one about a half inch farther out. And at 98 miles per hour, you can't decipher that. How can you decipher that? It's so interesting to watch it unfold, because then and ever since they started putting like the K zones on the TV and stuff when they're playing the games,
it's still not that accurate.
But it's crazy. It's crazy how they're just able to decipher from, right on the plate to a half inch out to then 2 inches out.
Give
so
me
it's
more
just
ump cam.
Kind of crazy. Yeah. Pro ump cam show. One thing I do want to talk about, as T-Bone mentioned with the Women's College World Series, and we bring her up every now and then when we talk about softball, Oklahoma softball's Jordy Ball, right? From Papillion, Nebraska. And Dirty Tony and the boys sent this in, and we wanted to talk about her anyway. But it's remarkable what the Papillion La Vista Monarch graduate has been able to do in her first 2 years with Oklahoma. Rico, so she was the freshman of the year, if I remember correctly, last season.
Yes.
The national freshman of the year. I want to make that clear. And in 2022, which was her freshman year, she had a 1.09 earned run average for Oklahoma. Obviously won the national championship last year in 141 innings pitched.
That's ridiculous.
And so just a lot of work on that arm. And so then you go, okay,
she also had to sit out a little bit because of an injury her freshman year. So she didn't even get to, show everything.
And so now you look this season, right, with Jordy Ball, and Oklahoma, number 1 team in the country, just a powerhouse.
They only have one loss.
And this season, after having a freshman year that included a 1.09 earned run average in 141 innings pitched, she follows it up with 129 innings pitched this season with a 1.03 earned run average. I mean, we talked about it in Husker baseball, where unfortunately sometimes their pitching wouldn't, shut the door, if you will. Nebraska's hitters and offense would score 6-8 runs, maybe even 16 at one point against San Diego, and that unfortunately wasn't enough. I mean, my goodness, on the diamond, on the softball field for Oklahoma, you have a pitcher out there that has a 1.03 earned run average, and you need to score 2 runs, and you feel pretty confident in your ability to win a softball game. That's just such a luxury to have for Patty Gasso, the head coach for Oklahoma. It's just such a luxury.
There was a stretch, and I'm see if I can find it, where they didn't play a full game for like 5 or 6 games. It was all 5-inning games because they were run ruling everybody, and it was just ridiculous. And they, like I said, they only lost 1 game this season, and it was pretty early in the season. I believe it was to Baylor. Let me make sure I get this right.
Well, while you do, we'll go ahead and say this.
Yeah, it was
Sorry, Rico, go ahead.
The 4th game of the season, they lost 3-4 to Baylor, and ever since then, they decided that winning was cool.
So, in softball, obviously, if you don't watch it consistently or know a whole lot about it, teams will start the same pitcher over and over if they need to, if they're that talented, right? Because it's a natural arm motion to throw a softball from the circle, where baseball usually need a couple days rest because it's not a natural arm motion. So understanding that, I don't know, just eyeballing it here. Well, I mean, I guess I could count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21. In Jordy Ball's last 21 appearances, how many runs do you think she's given up? It would be since April 1st. Since April 1st, 2023, in the last 21 appearances that Jordy Ball has pitched in.
There's a stretch in there of a lot of shutouts because I remember looking at it. I'm going to go with 21 appearances.
21 appearances. How many runs?
Yeah, 5.
4. And one of those came to a fellow Women's College World Series team, Oklahoma State, where they put up 3.
Yep.
So, I mean, just absolutely.
21 appearances. 4 runs.
4 runs since since April 1st.
She probably only threw 5 innings in a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of 6 1/3, 7 innings, 5 2/3, 5 innings, 3 innings, 7 innings. Yeah. Just
a lot of run rules.
And I would like to add in that game that she gave up 3 runs, Oklahoma still won 8-3.
Yep.
Just such a luxury to have.
Just the one loss to Baylor 3-4.
Yeah.
Or 4th game of the season. They were still getting their bearings.
Just such a luxury to
if
have.
That's even a thing for.
Yeah, they lost 4-3 to Baylor back on
February 19th.
Yep.
Let's see. Who are the pitchers in that one?
Jordy Ball threw 6 innings,
Jordy Ball was the starter there.
allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and walked 2 batters. Yeah. I mean, she's only allowed 19 runs the entire season.
Goodness gracious.
It's truly spectacular. Highly recommend that if you find yourself channel surfing over the weekend looking for something to watch and Oklahoma softball is playing, there's probably a pretty good chance that Jordy Ball is going to be in the circle.
Oh, definitely.
Number 99 for Oklahoma. Make sure you check it out.
14 complete games. Oh, she got a little fancy, sprinkled in a save.
Oh, of course. Of course, you have to. Yeah. So anyway, she's 19-1 this season. She has a 19-1 record this year, which is just crazy. Crazy.
And 5 strikeouts. 34 walks.
Like I want to put that
22 earned runs.
I want to put and compare like her stats to somebody else that's like currently pitching, but it's unfair because
everybody does. She is the best pitcher in college softball.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Is that wrong of me to say?
No, absolutely not. And she just happens to be playing for the best team in the country as well.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take our break.
Goodness.
When we come back,
her freshman year, she had 16 strikeouts against Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we are going to dive into the SEC stuff. Thanks to T-Bone for chiming in. You got us a segment, so nice job on baseball and softball. Good stuff as always. But no, let's go ahead and take our break. We talk SEC scheduling because the SEC decided to go, or first of all, eliminate divisions in 2024, and then also go to an 8-game schedule. And so it's kind of been a tough week for the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey. Simply just they're not getting the best reaction for that. So let's go ahead and take our break. We'll dive into it, tell you more about it coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More Happy Hacks on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafters, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today. Located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
May 1st through 31st, enroll your eligible smart thermostat in the LES Peak Rewards program. You'll earn participation incentives while helping to reduce electric usage. Learn more and sign up at les.com/peak rewards.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of service: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Showers and thunderstorms will be a possibility today. Otherwise, it will be another warm one with a high of 87, south winds at 15 to 25. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, low down to around 64. Another chance of scattered showers and storms tomorrow, warm yet again with a high of 88. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here. Happy Friday. It's the Happy Hour. Nick and Rico joining you. Good first segment, and we're going to keep it rolling. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch streams, sponsored once again by Starter Heyman Jewelers, the video stream there, and Allo Channel 951 if you have Allo Cable, and if you don't, well, you need to get it.
What are you doing?
Get Allo Cable, so make sure you can check us out on your televisions. So let's go back to the phone lines. We have a second caller of the show today, and we bring in James. James, what's on your mind, man? Appreciate you being patient.
James,
we hear you.
I know you're there. And we're gonna hang up on James in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait, we might have had him. James? Okay, we're done
with James.
Sorry, James.
Sorry
to make you waiting through the commercial break.
Maybe he'll come back. I don't know.
Call
We'll
back,
see.
James,
We'll
if you do hear us.
Do we want to do a quick update on the Women's College World Series since we were talking about
Why
it?
not?
So yesterday was the first day of the Women's College World Series, and Alabama actually fell to Tennessee.
Yeah,
10-5. The 5 seed Alabama falls to the 4 seed. So I mean, you think about it, you would think Alabama is a higher, but they're a 5 seed. They've had
Alabama had a cakewalk.
They've had a weird year.
I don't want to talk about Alabama.
They did have a cakewalk. Although they did have to go through Northwestern. I really thought Northwestern was going to pull it out in the Supers, and it should have been up at Northwestern, but we're not gonna get into that. Oklahoma does the thing against Stanford and wins 2-0, which, as a texter pointed out, Waterboy, the 2 runs they scored last night were the least amount of runs they've scored during their 49-game winning streak.
So think about that. We just got done talking about Jordy Ball and her 1.03 earned run average.
Yep.
And the 2 runs that Oklahoma scored last night in a game that they won because Jordy Ball pitched a complete game shutout were the fewest amount of runs that they've scored during the 49-game winning streak.
Yeah, no, that checks out. Ridiculous.
Just crazy.
Ridiculous. Oklahoma State, we know the Cowgirls all too well, fall to Florida State getting shut out and run ruled 6 innings and lose 8-0 to Florida State. Utah and Washington started play. That one got postponed and is actually going on right now with the 7-seed Washington Huskies leading the 15-seed Utah Utes 2-1 in the top of the 4th. I want to see who's pitching for. And the pitcher for Washington, former NEB prep star.
Oh, what do you know?
Ruby Malin.
There it is. Ruby Malin pitching for so a little bit of Nebraska flavor in.
It feels like you could just do that with like a lot of teams that make it to the Women's College World Series. Be like, oh yeah, she's from Nebraska. She's from Nebraska. And this isn't to say that Nebraska's doing a great job recruiting.
They're fine. They're doing just fine.
It's just that the amount of talent that Nebraska has in the state, hard to keep them all. And I understand that those 2 are probably priority number 1s. But when you've got a team like Oklahoma, who, again, on a 49-game winning streak and is in the Women's College World Series year after year after year after year, I mean, it's hard to say no to that, right?
Well, and that's what I was going to say. You look at some of the other players that maybe got out of the state, if you will. Emma Koff is one of them. She went down to Georgia Tech. She's currently in the transfer portal. She was all ACC at Georgia Tech, and she's from Nebraska as well. And you have the Barnard sisters down at Wichita State. And so you have a lot of flavor from the state of Nebraska around the country. And so just kind of keep tabs on them.
Top tier teams.
Yeah, those were regional teams. Wichita State was, at least. I'm not sure if Georgia Tech was this season.
They were not.
But I know Emma Koff, who once again all ACC for the Yellow Jackets, is now in the transfer portal. So we'll see what happens there. But okay.
I kind of want to look at Ruby's numbers from this year.
Well, while you do that, let's go ahead and move on here. 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the rest of the day here throughout the shows. You may have heard that the SEC is going to be eliminating divisions and switching to an 8-game schedule, 8-game conference schedule, that is, starting in 2024. Now, part of the requirement there for the SEC is that they have to play in 2024 at least one Power 5 non-conference opponent. And so the reason that, I mean, obviously this is a because of Oklahoma and Texas, that they had to eliminate divisions. That's what I'm trying to say. I apologize. And so
conference realignment.
Yeah. So when you look at like Georgia, though, Rico, do you know Georgia's schedule this year?
Yeah, we went through it yesterday.
Incredibly weak.
Yeah,
right?
we went through it this year because we were talking about getting them to 9 games and just taking out one of the non-cons.
Yeah.
Like one of the first 2 games. I think like Murray. It's not Murray State, but it's something like
Tennessee Martin.
There it is.
So it's Tennessee Martin. Let me just pull up the entire schedule here because I thought I had it on a tab, but I didn't. So they have Tennessee Martin. Then it gets incredibly harder with Ball State.
Oh my goodness.
And then UAB. Those are the 3 non-cons.
Careful. UAB,
Trent Dilfer. Yep, that's right. UAB. But they all are all at Georgia.
Oh, between the hedges.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Georgia going to Ball State? That would never happen.
Never happen.
Never happen.
But so what's interesting about this is, understandably so, this drew a lot of pushback on the SEC when they made this announcement. To be clear, this is not the long-term plan. And Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, said we are still discussing the long-term format, what we want to do, after 2024. Scott Docterman of The Athletic tweeted this out just yesterday and said there are 10 of 14 teams in the ACC playing at least 10 or more Power 5 opponents. In the Big Ten, 13 of the 14 teams are playing at least 10 or more Power 5 opponents.
Who's the one?
I'll let you think. I'll come back to that.
You keep going.
Then he lists out the other conferences, and they're all in double-digit teams. Then the SEC, 2 of their 14 teams are playing 10 or more Power 5 opponents in 2023. 2 of them.
Alabama's one of them.
Because
they have Texas on the
I didn't look at the second one, but
probably Vanderbilt.
More importantly, so in the Big Ten Conference, for example, Michigan is the lone team in the Big Ten Conference.
I would not have guessed
that
them.
Is not playing 10 or more. Basically, they have 3 non-Power 5 non-conference games.
I wonder if one of those is a stronger group of 5. You
So
pulling it up?
I am pulling it up because I looked at it earlier, and it's not anything like Georgia. So they start the year East Carolina at home. East Carolina, they just graduated their like 6th year quarterback last year, so they're in the transition of moving it in. But that's at the Big House. Then it's UNLV, who was not good, and then also Bowling Green.
UNLV's not good, but they should be. And I'm not
Why
trying
should
to cover for Michigan and say
You're a
they're
Big
obviously
Ten
not
homer.
they're not a Power 5 team.
You're a Big Ten homer.
But I mean UNLV should be like, when you look at them, you should think, oh, that's a pretty good team, instead of looking at Bowling Green and thinking that's the best team they're going to face in their non-con.
So Travis and Lincoln says this. I pointed this out yesterday. You guys rip on Georgia's schedule, calling it incredibly easy, but if Nebraska played it, they'd still go 5 or 7 or 6-6.
That's because Nebraska's bad.
Nebraska's not Georgia. We're not comparing Nebraska to be Georgia.
If any top 10 team played that schedule, they would go undefeated.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with you on that. I would agree.
That's what we mean by easy.
Well,
it's
disappointing because like the non-conference games such as Alabama and Texas or Michigan and Florida State early in the season, those draw eyes. Those matter, and it's frustrating even more because you have an Alabama playing a Tennessee Chattanooga in week 9 or week 11 when Michigan's playing Ohio State or when Michigan's playing Michigan State. You have another top team. It makes it tough because the SEC is this big bad conference, and the SEC is connected to ESPN, which obviously airs the college football playoff. You have a lot of that going on, right? Maybe you don't want to admit it, but that's active and present.
True.
And so when you look at it, it's frustrating. If Nebraska, think about the conversations we'd be having if Nebraska was, dare I say, in a spot to compete for a playoff spot, right? And Nebraska has to face Wisconsin on the road, and Alabama's playing Chattanooga, right? And Alabama's one spot ahead of you, and they're resting their starters by the end of the second quarter. There are benefits to that, unfortunately, but now with Alabama getting away from divisions, there is a potential for an there is a potential for an Alabama LSU SEC championship, which does, draw eyeballs, I suppose. Like that hasn't happened since they've both been in the SEC West. And so Alabama LSU could be interesting, or
there's a
Georgia Tennessee.
There's a 3-week stretch where Alabama plays. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. I know who they play. I just going to make sure that who's at
it's
where.
In order.
Yeah. So let me find it again. Okay, there's a 3-week stretch where Alabama goes to Texas A&M, hosts Arkansas, hosts Tennessee, hosts LSU.
Yeah,
there's a 4-week stretch of pretty good football. I know you want to go, whatever is going on with Texas A&M, whatever you want to go with there. Georgia's hardest stretch, probably. Oh goodness, this is so there. Their hardest stretch is to end the season. Their last 4 games at Florida, hosting Missouri, hosting Ole Miss, at Tennessee, and then at Georgia Tech. That is that. And I understand you want to say, oh, well, that's just the conference they're in. Yeah, I get that. So maybe schedule some harder out of conference opponents. And even if you're not going to schedule hard, just schedule another Power 5 team that isn't your rival in Georgia Tech. It's just it's a cupcake schedule for a Georgia, not for a Nebraska, as we have discussed. It would be a cupcake schedule for an Ohio State or a Michigan as well.
So obviously the SEC conference is going to meet again here probably next spring to discuss a long-term format. And I was reading an article from The Athletic that said something along the lines of this views or makes Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, look weak. Whether it was he didn't push or plead strong enough to get this to be a long-term solution decision made this year. Because he said, quote, nobody wants to go through this year after year. And this being the conversations regarding the scheduling and how many conference games you want to play and the format. Nobody wants to do that every single spring. And so in that, it said Greg Sankey looks weak, whether it is him not pleading or begging the presidents enough or not being able to sway the presidents of Kentucky and Mississippi State to play a 9-game conference schedule.
Wasn't there like 4 or 5
there were
teams?
4 teams.
Yeah, 4 teams that
Yes.
just said no to it.
Yeah. But so obviously a lot of this is driven by Alabama or Oklahoma and Tennessee joining, and
Texas.
Did I say Tennessee? Texas, excuse me. And
Tennessee's
in
going
that,
back to the SEC.
in that with that, Greg Sankey did say that they're going to honor traditional rivalries, right? And just normal game or rivalry games. And so we might see a Texas and Texas A&M game pop up once again in 2024, which we love. And in addition, this is something notable, I think, what the SEC is doing, because here they are, the first team to publicly and announce that they're going to eliminate divisions. And in that sort of provides a blueprint for the Big Ten, for the Big 12 on how to operate in where you find opponents and who you play and what rivalries you keep, which ones you don't. Because at the end of the day, SEC is probably going to be the best conference in football.
Once you eliminate divisions, it's going to be really interesting to see the scheduling matchups. And if you decide to go out of conference with other Power 5 opponents, just because you're already going to be playing 9 Power 5 conference opponents, whether, since it'll be no divisions. So it'll be really interesting to see where the SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, the Big 12 go with that. I'm not including the Pac-12 because I don't know if they're going to survive this whole thing. But it's going to be really interesting to see where they go with that, because once that happens, you're also going to get an expansion of the playoff. And that could provide the ability to play a Power 5 opponent outside of your conference. And still, if you are high enough up there preseason or midseason, whatever, still give you that opportunity to make the playoffs and play your way in.
So here's the quote. And this article comes from Seth Emerson of The Athletic. It says, quote, "Let's be clear. This wasn't a great week for Sankey, perception-wise. He appears to want the 9-game schedule, so not getting it either makes him look weak or unwilling to use his power to sway his presidents. They don't let the media in the meetings, so we don't know if Sankey was begging and pleading the presidents at Kentucky, Mississippi State, and others to see his way. We just know the end result. Sankey standing at the podium Thursday and accepting the slings and arrows of an unpopular decision, one that he probably doesn't want." So it's just kind of interesting.
Cowards.
In addition, and this is probably an important note from the business side of things. So in 2020, ESPN and the SEC negotiated a new TV deal. And that was prior to Oklahoma and Texas joining the conference. So part of this, in addition, could also be we see a change or just an alter to the television deal. Maybe we see a new one being brokered or, agreed upon, because you're also adding a 9th game and you're adding 2 valuable college football brands in Oklahoma and Texas. So I see that coming down the road, and that could play a part to play fair here in this conversation. That could have played a part in some of the presidents and ultimately Greg Sankey's decision to just temporarily have 8 games in 2024 in order so that they have another year and a half or so to negotiate a new TV deal that they'll get more money than they already are.
We made the, you sit there and we made this TV deal when we were playing 8 conference games, and before we had 2 premier schools in Texas and Oklahoma in our conference. We're not just going to add another conference game and keep the deal at the same number that it was at, because in all honesty, it needs to go up now. Especially if you're throwing in another conference game, and you're throwing in these 2 schools, the number needs to go up. They're worth a lot of money.
Well, and now, I mean, even more importantly, when you talk about realignment, that's why it's even more important for like the Pac-12 to get a deal done before a Colorado leaves, before an Arizona State leaves, before Oregon leaves. Like
Pac-12 on PBS.
They are, man, that's funny. They'd be on PBS 2, not even PBS. They'd be on like channel 17 instead of channel 12.
You could even just change PBS from Public Broadcast Service to Pacific Basketball Service, because that's not, nobody's going to watch your football. Except for Utah.
That's true.
I love Utah.
That's true. Anyway,
big
so,
Utah football guy.
Okay, pro Utah Ute. There he is. Rico.
Utah belongs in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, if they still had, is Cameron Rising coming back for another year?
One more season.
So
because it was a loaded quarterback draft, but also is this next year going to be loaded? There's 2 for sure.
It's Caleb Williams and
Drake May,
Bo Nix, and the field.
You're right. It's Bo Nix and
Quinn Ewers.
Oh, maybe it is loaded.
I think it might be loaded.
Oh, Cam, you should have gone out this year.
So Cam Rising, he fits in the Big Ten because he just runs right at dudes and doesn't care.
Dude, you give me Cam Rising in a triple option offense.
I saw a video of Cam Rising today, the Utah quarterback, getting his helmet popped off and then
smiling.
He just like stood up, smiled, and jogged to go get his helmet. And then he like ran off the field.
That's a Big Ten quarterback.
I'm like, this fits.
This fits. That's a dude.
Kyle
Whittingham has all the dudes.
Yeah. Thunder Not Collins is in with you on the Utes. So how about that?
Hell yeah.
Qdoba guy, shout out to you, man.
He's back.
Good to hear your voice again. Or good to see your text, I should say.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
He says, "Hey boys, it's been a while. Got a new job that no hat longer has me in a vehicle all day. So I apologize. I've been absent. Nice to hear your voices again. Qdoba guy, don't worry, man. You take care of your business and we'll be good. But,
we will be here for you. And also,
good to see you again.
You could just download the podcast and listen that way.
That's a good point.
Wherever you get podcasts.
Yes.
Spotify, Apple.
Shout out to the podcast downloads.
Amazon podcast.
That's right.
That
Amazon podcasts.
You can re-listen to it on YouTube, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I think Twitch still saves them.
There you go. Just like that.
All these places.
Yeah, if you want to go back and watch us.
Facebook. Listen on there.
Sometimes Rico and I do stuff inside the studio that obviously you can't hear over the radio. And sometimes our mannerisms and our actions are a little wild. And it probably gives you an inside glimpse of why we say the things we say and why we act the way we are.
Strange people here.
So, all right, let's take our final time out. We'll be joined by Bach this time because Bach is filling in for Austin on the block. I filled in for Strick yesterday. Now Bach is filling in for Austin today. So it's going to be Bach and Strick, the throwback on the block show
with Strick and Bach.
It's going to be back. And so we'll be joined by Jake Bach, Oven, and then potentially Strick if he's on the stream. We'll do that coming up next to round out the week on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry out, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon wrap dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon wrap dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between, capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
May 1st through 31st, enroll your eligible smart thermostat in the LES Peak Rewards program. You'll earn participation incentives while helping to reduce electric usage. Learn more and sign up at les.com/peak rewards.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
America's been around since 1776. That's nothing. America's still just learning how to party. The Irish? The Irish have been doing it for thousands of years. Party the Irish way at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket. They've got your favorite Irish beers on tap, along with all the locals and domestics. Plus great house cocktails, a huge selection of Irish whiskey, and the best Irish pub food in town. See the full menu and list of specials online at mckinneyspub.com or just head down there. McKinney's Irish Pub at 7th and P in the Haymarket. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Join us on Tuesday, June 6th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 40th and Old Cheney for Customer Appreciation Day. Enjoy 59-cent wings all day and your favorite sports talk show host on the air from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come hang out with us for Customer Appreciation Day on Tuesday, June 6th at the 40th and Old Cheney Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
Keisei Tamanaga is returning to Nebraska. It just elevates the ceiling of what Nebraska basketball can be this upcoming year. This feels good. Nebraska basketball feels good going into
When you think of Keisei Tominagi, you think of threes, right? And obviously he shot 40% from three-point range this last season. Just a highlight waiting to happen with him. And I believe that his cuts off the ball on the offensive end and his ability to finish quickly, he just catches it and finishes it all in one motion. I think that's going to be extremely important for him.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Look at him and tell me there's a God.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary. Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Into the show, we wrap it up one final time on a Friday. Nick, Rico, and now Buck.
Hello, how are you doing?
Long time no talk.
Yeah. How's it been going the last 45 minutes?
Well, it's been good.
It's been so long. Where have you been all my life?
What you been doing? Okay, we got to change that. We can't. Okay, good. The camera's froze on me. Like, I don't want that. What you been up to the last 45 minutes, Buck?
Oh, podcasting, getting ready for On the Block, which is coming up next with Stricky.
What's coming up?
Oh, it's Stricky.
That's it. Just Stricky.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, a lot of stuff. We've got let's see. Send the rundown to me so I can go over it.
The SEC are cowards?
Well, the SEC are cowards, of course. Potential expansion with the Big 12. Pac-12 is on thin ice right now. Ja Morant, apparently Adam Silver's has a punishment ready, but hasn't. It wants to wait until after the finals to announce the punishment.
Honestly, I think that's worse than announcing it. Is telling everybody that you had it.
We've made a decision, but we're not going to announce it out.
Yeah, I think I think you should have just waited. I don't think you needed to tell everybody. I don't think anybody was. Were we expecting them to say anything about Ja Morant?
Even
I kind of forgot about him.
Still looking over it, or it's kind of strange.
Like you could have just said you could have been like,
we're bearing the news.
Yeah, we're still reviewing. We're still reviewing it.
Yeah,
you could have just left it at that. But he's like, yeah, we have a punishment. We're just gonna wait. We don't want to take the spotlight from the finals. And it's like, you just did.
Well, so like I saw the Instagram video, And interestingly enough, like he said last night, he's like, new information. We've discovered new information, like new details have become available. And I'm sitting there going like, how many more details can become available?
Whether
Like,
it's his or not.
Like, yes, but at the end of the day,
state laws.
Yeah, whatever.
That's true.
Wherever they were.
That's true, but like that's just normal investigation stuff. So like
Maybe it's not related to that.
maybe it's not.
Maybe if he's
I mean,
got
you
drafts
still-
in
you
his
still-
phone
you
of
still-
other gun
Oh,
waving
no.
incidents.
Maybe there
Oh,
are
no.
other things. I don't know.
Do you have to release all the other videos?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm worried that we might have seen the last of Ja Morant.
I hope that's not true. I want him to keep playing. I want him to make better decisions and to be able to continue playing because he is a phenomenal basketball player and he has a lot more to give to not just basketball, but wherever he decides to plant his roots and be and whatever. So I want him to continue living his life and doing all this. And I hope this doesn't derail it.
Yeah.
He does have to be held accountable for it. And, you know, it's kind of in the NBA guidelines, bylines. So you can't do things like that.
So a couple things. Is Strick on the stream?
He is. I don't know if you guys want him to join or not.
Can we get him in by chance?
Yes. Let me play the legal ID.
Let's play it 10 seconds. And while we do that, let's get Strick in here because I want to ask him a question regarding the Memphis Grizzlies here.
This is Lincoln's home for sport talk on the FM dial of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Well, fortunately enough, Gorilla Bear has texted into the show, so he does not lose the nickname. There was a Bakito, obviously no. We got told at the start of the show that if Gorilla Bear did not text into our show by the end of it, that we had to take away his name, Gorilla Bear. So thankfully, Gorilla Bear has texted in, and we're good.
Saved himself. That was a close one.
So we're gonna bring in the Husker Hall of Famer E. Stricky. Stricky, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you guys fine. As long as you can hear me.
Okay. Oh yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Question for you regarding the Memphis Grizzlies, and I know you guys are going to talk about this here. Adam Silver obviously says last night that they've decided on the outcome, right? But they're not going to say it during the finals, which that's fine, whatever. I want to ask you, who was the bigger distraction to the Memphis Grizzlies this season? Understanding their status, their role on the team, was it Ja Morant or Dylan Brooks?
Wow, that's a good one, Nick.
You got him.
It's a tough one too, though. I gotta be honest. I think for the long haul, it's probably Ja Morant, right?
Gotcha.
Because here's the thing. I really do believe that the Memphis Grizzlies, they actually had pretty good success, even if Ja's not on that team. Just the style of play and the way that they play, they actually are still pretty successful. Their numbers aren't one that would go in the tank like when Giannis goes out. You know, Milwaukee's like not as good as with them, right? Or there are certain teams that when that happens, there's going to be a struggle. Jokic, even like you can just look at the analytics for Denver. If Jokic is out, they have a losing record without Jokic, right? So they're not that team. So this is why I think that distraction comes out, because guess what it does? You see a lot of the press that happens and comes out from it. So then you've got guys trying to be like Dennis Rodman, and there's Dylan Brooks. So Dylan Brooks's distraction is, you can tell that it's like entertainment. Like, I don't really think Dylan Brooks is serious. I can't even take him serious. I could be wrong. I can't even take him serious. I think, he's a clown. But at the same time, I don't think his distraction is as big, because you think about the persona you have to take on as a team when you're dealing with that way. So you kind of got to get behind Ja. You kind of got to ride with him because he's your teammate. But at the same time, you've got to deal with the ramifications that come with that as well. So it's difficult, man. I think Ja's situation, because listen, you're talking about what was it, a month, 2 months?
Yeah.
And in the same situation, that's tough. That's tough. A couple months, you know.
Well, then it's tough because I mean he comes out and he says, "I've learned from my mistakes.
Yeah.
I've learned all this," and then not even a month and a half later, the same thing happens again. It's honestly a little disappointing because he is such an exceptional talent and he's a lot of fun to watch, and it's unfortunate because I don't know if suspension for like an entire season is off the table here. I don't know what the possibilities are for whatever Adam Silver has decided after their second time, right? If it was the first time, obviously, I don't think we're worried about him being, taken out of the league or suspended. But the second time after he had conversations with Adam Silver and after he had issued an apology, it's how do you come back from that?
Yeah. And that's why they got rid of Dylan Brooks, because they're like, look, it's already a clown show right now. It's already bad with the job situation. You add this one to it, but then the ramifications it's way bigger than just, the media scrutiny and the eyes and the microscopes that are on this situation. It's way bigger, I think, because you got to recruit. Not recruiting like in college where you got to sell the university and the organization, maybe some NIL. No, you're trying to bring in free agents. Do free agents. Now you tell me, and I'm going to throw this to all y'all. If you're a free agent, you have two similar type of markets, small market teams. Do you go to Denver or do you go to Memphis?
Denver in a heartbeat.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
You know what I'm saying? Because they about their business. Like if you're a person that really just, you love the game, you care about the game, that team, its leader, starting with its leader, is about business. Whereas the other ones, the freaking Steven Adams tries to get them about business mentality, and they all
don't
like,
want to listen.
And they
don't want to listen.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the question I would just throw at y'all.
It's also, you got to think about, I don't agree with the way that the Memphis Grizzlies went about the Dylan Brooks situation, making it public that they weren't going to re-sign him under any circumstances. I think that was just ridiculous. I think you could have just not re-signed him, told him that you weren't going to re-sign him. You didn't have to let the world know. And with Ja Morant, they're going to do everything in their power to keep him on the team, obviously, and keep him around after whatever suspension or whatever punishment is handed down by the league. Because, like you said, if they're recruiting free agents, it's not just recruiting them to Memphis and playing for the Grizzlies. It's recruiting them to Memphis to play with Ja Morant. Like, that's the guy. Because do you want to play on a Memphis Grizzlies team with or without Ja Morant, where Jaren Jackson Jr. is your best player? Or Ja Morant's your best player.
It really felt like with Dylan Brooks, the whole situation, as you said, when they came out and said we're not gonna sign him under any circumstance.
Ridiculous.
It's like their way of telling all the people, see, we're doing something right. We're doing something, like we promise. Like that's what it really felt like. See, we're still capable of doing something normal.
We can do things correct.
And so it just felt kind of like it was definitely a PR stunt to come out and just say we're not going to re-sign him under any circumstance, right?
Very rude.
All right, so that's coming up on the show. Make sure you folks stick around. Stricky joining you're at Utah. You're in Utah now, right, Stricky?
I had my flights after the show.
Oh, gotcha. So still in Dallas, heading to Utah later this afternoon.
Tell Luke I said what's up.
Yeah. Anyway, so make sure you guys.
Jalen Brunson, he's here too.
Make sure you guys stick around on the block with the Strick and Bach is coming up. The Eric Strickland. Strick and Bach's coming up next. Just like old times. Make sure you stick around. Got a lot of good stuff coming up on the show. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us in this short week that we had. But we will talk to you on Monday. See ya.
Adios.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month. Selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at coppellcars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount, must trade in and finance with the Roof Credit.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Allo is here to give you the FYI. Are your shows buffering? We know why. Are your games lagging? Don't deny. Your work calls dropping? Here's the FYI. Your old school internet company can't keep up. They give it a try. Their network isn't enough. Don't get trapped in their gimmicks and lies. It's time to fiber your internet with Allo. Honest, local, and hassle-free is what we stand by. Experience Allo Internet. Visit allofiber.com/FYI.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Hi, I'm Barb Batik, President and CEO of the Lincoln YMCA. On behalf of the Y, I want to thank you for voting us Lincoln's Choice for Best Youth Sports Programs, Best Youth Activity Programs, and Best Preschool. These categories represent so much of what we do at the Y, and we're honored to serve thousands of families in our community each and every day. Hey, with summer just around the corner, I invite you to stop in. Schools open May 27th, and we can't wait